another weird video I'm doing, walking on a treadmill. I'll explain what I'm doing in a second. What I'm going to do is move this up to a brisk walking speed. Speed, usually put this around the 5 on the speed level. I don't know what that is, 5 what? K an hour? Maybe? So start on 4.5, and what I'm going to do for this video, the premise of this video is testing steep uphill walking in terms of the potential aerobic benefit you can get for your cycling. So what I'm going to do is change the level on this. I'm going to turn it right up. So this treadmill goes to a 15 on the level. I don't know what units that is, but we'll dial this one up. There we go, so 15 there. We'll get this moving. So the point of this is context. Oh, that's deep. I did that video the other day, or maybe it was the other week now, about cross training for cycling. And if you're on holidays, you're on a work trip, and you want to maintain your aerobic fitness, what sort of cross training can you do? Now, as you might be able to see, there is a spin bike there, which would be the perfect thing to do. Assuming you don't have a spin bike, or maybe you're sort of off season and you don't really feel like getting on the bike, what else can you do? So in that video I mentioned running, elliptical machine, swimming and things like that. Also mentioned hiking and like uphill walking or stair climbing. So one thing I didn't mention was if you have a treadmill, you can do uphill walking. So the test, that's what I'm testing today. Now, rationale behind this is the obvious thing you might want to do is running. As I mentioned in that video, one of the reasons not to do running is that it's very high impact. If you're anything like me, you go for a 30-minute run, really wrecks you. So you've got the soreness that it gives, but also risk of injury if you're doing it too often or going too hard. And also just the way your hip and your knee joints are being loaded throughout your running. Yes, it is aerobic, but it's not replicating the pedal stroke of cycling that well. It's more of an eccentric loading as you catch your leg on each stride. So the idea is trying to use uphill walking, of which you can do on most treadmills, have a level function to go up an incline. So benefits of this are, as you might be able to see from the side-on shot, raising the level decreases the impact, decreases that catching of your body weight each time you take a stride, and makes it more demanding on the hip extension, so using your glutes, and also more demanding on the quads, more of a concentric contraction stepping up, as I'm kind of exaggerating now, more replicating the pedal stroke than running does. Problem with this is, how intense is this going to be? Is this hard enough to be stimulating aerobically and be actually doing something aerobically to be giving an aerobic benefit or maintaining your cycling fitness? That's what I'm testing today. So I've got the heart rate strap on. I'm going to see what I can get my heart rate to doing this. But the challenge is I have to be walking. So seeing what my heart rate can get to doing a brisk walk uphill. If I start having to jog, that's kind of defeating the purpose. So that was the test today. I was going to do this for myself out of my own curiosity. That's why I'm making a video. We'll report back. So I've got heart rate strap on. So what heart rate am I looking for? To be getting an aerobic benefit doing this for the sort of time I'm going to be on here for, 30, 45 minutes, maybe up to an hour if I'm really keen. Heart rate's going to need to be at least at zone 2 heart rate to be stimulating enough to be getting a benefit. So zone 2 heart rate, you're looking at 65% of your max heart rate or above, which for me is about 130 beats per minute at the low end, up to around 80% of max heart rate, so up to maybe 160 for me. So if I can be holding my heart rate, let's say right in the middle of zone 2, 140 beats per minute, up to 150 maybe. I mean, I'd go for the low end considering it's just walking, then I'll be happy. I know this is giving me a good aerobic benefit. So I will walk, probably do this for 30 minutes, and see where my heart rate gets to. Now, other thing is, so why am I doing this in the first place? Why aren't I out training properly, riding my bike? The reason for that will be clear probably in the next week or so. Bit of an announcement coming in relation to the team, which will have an impact on me personally in terms of what I'm doing, and also impact on this channel, interestingly. So if you're a subscriber here, you watch my videos, there's some big things going on which will massively impact the stuff you're going to see on this channel in the future. So, bit of a, I didn't really explain anything there, did I? But just be aware, I have really, for me now, I'm basically in an off season, or I'm not going to have any racing goals for the next few months. So I'm just trying to stay healthy, stay aerobically fit. I'm still riding around 3 times per week, but then doing other things like this. It's been raining all day, so I'm not going to go out on the bike. So I'm going to do this video, testing this. I was going to do this walk anyway, I'm not doing this walk just for the purpose of the video. I was going to do this as a form of aerobic exercise in the first place. And I've got a sauna here. This is the little gym in my apartment building. We've got a sauna too. So I'm going to do this walk and then also get in the sauna as well, just to maximize, oh, itchy legs. I hate shaving my legs. They get itchy when you start sweating. Get in the sauna after this too, to maximize the aerobic benefits of this session without actually doing anything too stressful, strainful. Did a pretty solid ride last night, the chop here in Sydney, Centennial Park, an hour essentially racing around, going pretty hard. I think we averaged 45k an hour for the hour, so that's a good intensity session for the week. So this is more lower intensity, lower aerobic, maintaining my fitness. So I'm now 8.5 minutes in, and my heart rate is 120 beats per minute. I'm going to up the speed on this, see if I can get that up. Now remember, I don't want to run for this. I want to make sure this stays as a walk. I've actually never tested my heart rate on this before, so this could be a complete fail and maybe I don't get anywhere near zone 2. We will see. The idea behind the sauna as well, why am I doing saunas? Because I'm not training. It's not like I'm doing it for a heat acclimation point of view. The reason for doing the sauna is emphasizing the aerobic benefits of the exercise I'm already doing. So we know that sauna stimulates good adaptations, beneficial adaptations in your blood. So this is where it's sort of science meets art meets common sense, essentially. I'm going to go for a walk on the treadmill here, solid aerobic exercise. Probably not moving the needle like massively aerobically, but then going and sitting in the sauna, getting that heat stress. The overall result of this, let's say it's a total hour between this and the sauna, I would say very strong aerobic stimulus in terms of maintaining all the beneficial adaptations you get through aerobic exercise. So hemoglobin, the plasma volume, all that sort of stuff. Now, technically as well, The reason why I'm not listing 20 different adaptations is because I've actually forgotten most of them, to be honest. Stuff I learnt in uni, which was, when was that? 6-7 years ago. You go through learning all sorts of detail, all the different adaptations that take place, specific how they work, the biology of it all. To be honest, I don't keep up on a lot of that now. I'm more interested in the practical side of things, what works, what doesn't, and having a baseline understanding of why. There are sports scientists out there that will be able to go through and list each individual specific adaptation that comes from something like this combined with sauna. For me, I'm not too concerned with that anymore. I'm more concerned with being aware of what works and why it works. The actual nitty-gritty of the detail as I get older actually becomes less important for what I'm doing as a coach as opposed to someone doing research. So that's why I slightly brief on the details, but that's all good. I'm happy to admit it. So I think I've rambled on enough now. I'll just stick a podcast in and I'll be back with you in about 20 minutes. Oh, I should probably tell you what my RP is. My effort level at the moment, out of 20, is probably 14. Certainly feel like I'm working, but it's not super hard. So yeah, 12 minutes in, 14 out of 20. All right, so we're at 29 minutes. Heart rate is it's fluctuating. It's 137 now. Got up to 140. It's been sitting around 139 for the last 5 minutes. So, spot on. Pretty much exactly what I thought. This would allow me to get into low zone 2 heart rates. RPE right now, it's hard to explain. It feels quite uncomfortable because I'm walking up a hill. But it doesn't feel hard. I'd probably still put it at 14 or 15 out of 20. I did up the speed a couple of notches since I was speaking at the start, so speed's on 5.5. I'd probably be really comfortable if I dropped it down a bit. So 5.2, 5.3, yeah, this feels much more sustainable. That was almost, I was borderline sort of jogging almost there. So 5.2 speed, top level, feels good. So it's been 30 minutes now. What I usually do here is end this and then go sit in the sauna for 25-30 minutes to finish the whole session off. But just again, just to bring this back to the training thing, that's why this is good to do. This confirms that this would be good if you're away on a work trip and you're on holidays, or maybe you're in your off season, just to maintain that base aerobic fitness that you've got from your cycling. Good benefit from here. So I was worried, one of the concerns was that this walking wouldn't be intense enough, but having that level up and then seeing this heart rate data confirms that I'd be good at getting a good aerobic stimulus from this. And this is the other thing as well, like if it is your off season, or for me now where I don't have any racing goals for a few months, when you expand your option of training, training modality, so it's not just on the bike, suddenly now I can still go for a ride, Or maybe I come down on here and just go for a walk, uphill walk with the level up. Or I get on the elliptical machine and do that. Or I go for a jog / run. Having those other options just gives you less excuses. So when I see people, as I kind of mentioned in that maintaining cycling fitness is easy, that video, it's a pretty good views, that one. Having more of these options in the periods of time where you aren't on the bike 4, 5, 6 times a week just means that in a few months' time, when it's in the second half of the year and I am looking to get back into racing, I'm going to be carrying a high level of fitness, having not lost all the fitness over this coming few months, and also feeling pretty motivated because this isn't riding. So this is super easy to do. There's no excuse why I can't come down here and do this for 30, 45 minutes every couple of days. If I can't get myself to do that, then that's really just being lazy, because this is super easy. And also going and sitting in the sauna after. Yes, it's uncomfortable, but I'm just sitting there. So if I can get on the bike and ride 2 or 3 times a week, and one of those being a group ride like I did last night, then get on, let's say, come drag my ass down here and do this twice a week, I'm there, if you add that up, that's 4 or 5 aerobic endurance stimuluses through the week. So yes, over the course of a few months, I'm not going to be able to hold my FTP at 380 watts like it is when I'm racing, but I might be coming back in a few months' time. My FTP might have only dropped down to 340, 350 instead of potentially like 310, 320 if I was just lazy and didn't force myself to come and do this sort of thing. So yeah, a good option for those times when you're not training super intensely. So I don't really have anything else to say. If you're still watching this far in, as usual, thanks for watching. Watching the whole video does help the algorithm, I think. And just to reiterate, some big things coming for the channel. I know I haven't been making that many videos recently, but it's been because there is a lot of stuff going on in the background, which will all come out soon. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching as usual. I'm going to go hop in the sauna and I'll catch you in the next one. Actually, what I will do, I'll keep my heart rate strap on and I'll run the Wahoo in the sauna. So out of interest, we can see what my heart rate gets to as I'm just sitting static in the sauna. That could also be interesting. Let's see what happens. I gotta go turn it on. I felt before I came in here it was already fairly warm, but got to crank it up. So that turns it on. Let's have a feel. Yeah, not too warm yet. So it's it's only 45 degrees Celsius. So that's going to take some time to warm up. I'll give that 5 minutes to get going and then I'll hop in. Always have the water, electrolyte mix. Probably can't see anything. I just smashed the rocks with water, so it's super steamy. Woo! Oh, I was in there for about 18 minutes and then had to hop out, unbearably hot. So now just cooling off in the spa, and I'll probably hop back in after core temp drops a little bit for another 5-10 minutes just to finish off the session. But it's interesting in terms of the temperature of the sauna. So this sauna, because it's in an apartment building, it's under a regulation by the government, so it can't go above 80 degrees Celsius. But the interesting thing is I find the temperature is almost irrelevant, because I can have the gauge on 60. The gauge can be sitting at 60 degrees, and if I load up the rocks with water to make it almost a bit like a steam room, it gets unbearably hot. So if you're doing sauna work and you're wondering what temperature is ideal, I wouldn't worry too much about the actual temperature, as long as it's getting hot enough where it can be unbearable, so you have to get out, and then you just go slightly below that. It's probably good enough. That means your core temp's going to be getting high enough to give you that stimulus, because the temperature is irrelevant, because it depends how much steam's in there. Like, I can have the thing right at 80, and if I don't put the water on the rocks, so there's just barely any steam, it's bearable. As soon as I put the steam in there, temperature can be lower and the heat stress is higher. So yeah, if you do have access to a sauna or something, don't worry too much about the actual temperature. So I'll be sitting here for another few minutes to get back in, just to finish off the session. My heart rate also hit, I think, 143 beats per minute. So my heart rate got higher just from sitting still in the sauna than it did walking uphill on that treadmill, which is pretty interesting. Yeah, it was pretty freaking hot in there, but it's good to see that it's getting the heart rate up. So there's just more evidence for the aerobic stimulus that's going to come from this session overall.